this is Detroit. Welcome to the Garrison. As many of you know, I've recently finished completing my game table. It took me about a week and a half to finish it. Okay, I'm more or less, actually, I'm pretty happy with the final finished look or the way that the table came out. I'm very happy, and I'm looking forward to many fun-filled days of Axis and Allies gaming. Okay, so, all right, so for those of you who don't know, I recently changed my channel name from just strictly speaking Detroit to Axis and Allies, the Garrison. Okay, reason being I did that is because I want to not only limit myself to just painting miniatures, but also to incorporate other aspects of Axis and Allies into my channel. Not only painting, but also gaming, maybe a little bit strategy, house rules, commentaries, and maybe a little bit about myself. Okay, so that's the reason why I've changed my channel name. Also, in part because I'm built a bunker here in my basement in my home, which allows me for a little bit of more expansion, for lack of a better word. Okay, so I have a subscriber by the name of Nick Rica, who's also in the process of painting and detailing his own miniatures. He asked me what are my own house rules. Okay, so, excuse me. My house rules are basically more focus or entail a focus on the details as far as the units are concerned. Okay, as not so much with strategy. What do I mean by that? Okay, basically, let's take my armored units. Those of you who have watched my videos know that I have actually different types of armored units. Okay, I have heavy, medium, and light armored units. Okay, let's start first with the light armored unit option that I have incorporated into my house rules. Basically, the light armored unit is an armored or a tank unit that has an IPC cost of 4 IPC. Okay, has a movement capacity of 2. All right, and it attacks with a die roll of 3, defends with a die roll of 1. So basically, this is due to the fact that the light armor is really a tank killer. It's very good in offensive capacity, but very limited when it comes to defensive capacity. Obviously, because it has very little armor, okay, to protect it from incoming fire. Okay, the next option that I have is the medium armored unit or medium tank, which is what we all know of as the regular tank that we incorporate into our regular gaming. It has an IPC cost of 5, has a movement option of 2, and attacks and defends with a die roll of 3. Okay, so that's what we are all accustomed to when utilizing or playing Axis and Allies. The third option is the heavy armored unit. Okay, the heavy armored unit has a cost, an IPC cost of 7 IPC. It has a die roll attack value of 4, and has a defense IPC roll, defense die roll of 3. Okay, it also has an additional option that because it's a heavy armored unit, it can attack with the support of an infantry. Okay, so that infantry unit has an increased attack die roll of 2. So for every heavy armored unit that you're utilizing in your attack, it itself can attack with a die roll of 4, and that infantry supporting that armored unit attacks with a 2 and not a 1. Okay, so basically that's it for my armor. I have also incorporated an Airborne Landing option to my house rules. Okay, so basically it's a Paratrooper option. Okay, what I have done is that I have, as part of my house rules, is that at the beginning of every game, every country or player gets 1 aerial transport unit. That's for all the players. Okay. Now the aerial transport unit has a cost of an IPC cost of 5. Okay, it has a movement option of 6 spaces. It can move just like a bomber. Okay, the aerial transport can move 6 spaces as well also. It has no attack and no defense value like a naval transport, okay? But it can carry, one infantry as an attack option, as a paratrooper landing, okay? Now, just as a side note, okay, you have to, when an airport, a paratrooper is being utilized as an attack, that attack option, okay, must be in conjunction with a land unit that is adjacent to the territory that is being attacked, okay? And that has to be the case, because if not, if you were just strictly to attack with let's say with a paratrooper, one paratrooper would then be able to take an enemy capital, and of course that would not make any sense. Okay, so whenever you're utilizing a paratrooper, that paratrooper has to be supported and used in conjunction with a military or a land attack that is also happening simultaneously in conjunction with the airborne landing attack. Okay, so basically those are the house rules that I have incorporated into my units. I have a few more, but the ones that I've gone over today are the ones that I enjoy or utilize the most, okay, that I think can make the game a little bit more enjoyable for you, okay? And of course, this is because one of my subscribers, Nick Rica, that's R-I-C-A, asked me if I could go over what my house rules were as far as units were concerned, okay? So that's about it for today, guys. Just I will continue my video. I will do a flyover video of my finished game table, okay, and also basically with my painted miniatures, okay. So I haven't done one like this before, not one that a flyover video of the entire game. I haven't done that yet, so it's actually at the initial stages of the Second World War. Here you have the Americans, late 1940, with infantry, an army unit, a couple of transports, and a few naval assets off the coast of Washington, D.C. Okay, so as we move on to the North Atlantic, you'll see German subs, Russian subs also as well, and a British warship or cruiser right off the Mediterranean. Okay. All right, here we have the British Isles. We have quite a collection of German and British warships. All right, you see French and British infantry in England. And here you have the German military, the Wehrmacht, into or invading northern or northeastern France. Okay, also in France itself, you'll see French forces accompanied or supported by the British Expeditionary Force that was deployed into France as playing a support role with the French. All right, so here we have basically the Germans, pretty impressive military. All right, if you go further into Central Europe, you'll see the Italians. Okay, you'll also see the Italian Navy, which is pretty decent in size and power. Also here in the Mediterranean, you see French warships, a cruiser and a destroyer. All right, and here you have a British naval task force in the Eastern Mediterranean. Northern Africa, you have British and Italian forces facing each other. And Eastern Africa, Northeastern Africa, actually Northwestern Africa, you have French colonial forces. Okay, more Italians. And in South Africa, there you have the British colonial forces. Okay, let's go up towards Russia now. Here you see Russian military assets deployed for a potential attack from German military assets. Remember, this is 1940s, and the Russians are basically ill-prepared for a war against the Wehrmacht, against Germany. All right, so let's go to the Pacific Theater. And here we have British colonial forces in India, supported by naval assets. All right, here you have Chinese nationalist forces that are engaging the expansionist Japanese imperial forces in China. Of course, as you can see, the Japanese have invaded, by this point in time, have invaded Korea, Manchuria, northern China, Southeast Asia, and are, or at least appear to be unstoppable. All right, so let's go into the Pacific Theater, actually the Pacific Ocean, and here you have Japanese naval assets, which are pretty impressive. The Japanese definitely were well prepared for their expansionist expansionist policies. They were definitely ready for the war. Okay. All right, here you have another small Japanese task force, probably making its way potentially to attack either Australian forces, which are ANZAC, or American forces. Let's go to Honolulu, Hawaii, and here you have a U.S. task force, a naval force with U.S. infantry and fighters on the island itself. All right. Okay, so if we go to the off the coast of San Francisco, northern America, you'll see a U.S. task force consisting of a carrier, battleship, a cruiser, a destroyer, and a naval transport, as well as land assets in California, and one fighter. Okay. All right, guys, as I said before, this is the first time that I actually do a flyover video of the entire game with painted miniatures. As you can tell, it can be a little bit difficult with painted miniatures to differentiate them, okay? But once you get used to playing with painted miniatures, you can't tell them apart. Okay, they are painted differently. At least I've incorporated enough color difference or different color schemes that allow the player to tell who's who. Okay, for those who are not used to playing with color or painted miniatures, okay, who are used to just playing with non-painted units, it can be a little difficult, at least initially. But once you get used to it, it's second nature. Okay, guys, I hope you have enjoyed the video. Once again, if you have any comments, suggestions, please let me know. And until next time, Detroit out.